It's March 31st, 2016. I'm in coastal France at a glamorous seafood banquet. The platters in front of me are piled high with shellfish. There are shrimp ready to be peeled and crab legs sticking in every direction, and these little lobster-like creatures called langostino that still have the eyes, so they seem to be glaring at my dinner plate as if knowing their fate. In the center of the platter are raw oysters. They're piled high and they're shimmering on the half shell. And everything looks great. But as I dig in, I have to pause with an oyster halfway to my lips, because all I can think about are the ironic headlines. I mean, they practically write themselves. Scientist researching dangerous bacterium found in raw oysters falls ill after eating a raw oyster. My name is Gavin, and I'm a microbiologist earning my PhD at Northwestern University in Chicago. As you can probably tell from that story, I like to eat. And most of the time, our bodies do a really good job of extracting the nutrients we need from food while defending us against anything that might be contaminating it. But as anybody who's had food poisoning knows, that's definitely not always the case. I study a type of bacteria called Vibrio Vulnificus. It's a bacterial cousin of the microbe that causes cholera. Vibrio vulnificus is a normal part of marine environments like the United States Gulf Coast, but it can cause problems for humans when we accidentally consume it. That's because the bacteria produce a toxin that allows them to escape from the gastrointestinal tract out into the bloodstream. And it's dangerous because bloodborne infections are much more lethal than those that are contained just in the intestine. Right now, there are only about 120 cases of Vibrio vulnificus in the United States each year. So that's really not many, right? The problem is they're lethal in more than 50% of cases. And each case costs the United States more than $3 million in economic burden due to combined medical costs, productivity loss, and death. So this tiny bacterium actually has really large consequences. And we expect those consequences to get worse, because as global ocean temperatures increase, infection incidence increases too. There's a bit of controversy when it comes to how to handle this problem. The Center for Science and the Public Interest is suing the FDA because the FDA has known about these infections and the severity for a number of years, but has chosen not to enact blanket regulations that would be pretty burdensome for the oyster harvesting industry. Right now, the options are laid out as either blanket regulations on the oyster harvesting industry or nothing being done to further consumer safety. In fact, there's a third option. It's science. Ongoing research is doing a good job increasing our understanding of this disease and will help inform the development of targeted preventatives and therapeutics for Vibrio vulnificus infections. Of course, it's a long road, but we're making progress. And I think that one day we'll be far enough down that road that I'll be able to enjoy my raw oysters without worrying about becoming an ironic headline.